I am going to say this because the media people are not doing this government any service. Rather than telling us the truth that he is unwell, because human beings can fall sick. When we were campaigning, we knew he was unwell. When I was in London, I heard they got him coming out from St. Mary's Hospital. Rather than telling the people the truth that he has gone on medical vacation, that he is unwell and has gone to examine himself in a hospital, so that at least you don't portray him as being insensitive, so that you don't portray him as enjoying while Nigeria is burning. They are saying he has jetted out to enjoy himself. What sane leader will go out to enjoy himself when more than 150 persons have died in a boat mishap? If that is true, then you cannot blame Governor Sim Fubara for saying that there is a need to build a psychiatric hospital to examine our leaders, because that's the only thing left to do. It is their positions and power, not the people, and the people must rise up to defend themselves from these leaders. So what Governor Sim Fubara did and is doing is in order, and I support it. What the IGP of police has done is illegal, is ungodly, is criminal. He should apologize to the people of Rivers State, and he must make sure that not even one hair of anybody in Rivers State falls to the ground, because the law is clear. The police is there to maintain law and order, so the police cannot withdraw in any circumstance from any situation that could cause chaos. The police cannot dabble into political issues. IGP is dabbling into political issues. He must withdraw from it, and he must make sure that the orders are maintained in Rivers State. And the chief security officer in Rivers State is Governor Sim Fubara, and his orders should be maintained.
When I tell una say these 64 years when Nigeria celebrate, now wasted 64 years, some of una no agree. In fact, some people self came to my DM and was sending me message telling me that am I the craze? Waiting they worry me, waiting make me talk that thing. But I asked them some questions where they never still answer me reach today. I asked them this question, say, as a Nigerian, as a proud Nigerian that you are, what can you come out now to beat your chest and say, yes, as a proud Nigeria, we have achieved this. We have achieved this very well for the past 64 years. Is it good road? Do you have good road? Is it hospital? Do you have good hospital? Is it school? Do you have good school? Is it what? Is it economy? Is your economy good? In fact, economy is getting worse and worse, if there's any word like that. So, obviously, there is nothing good to celebrate in Nigeria or celebrate the 64 years, whatever. This man, Barrister Kenneth Okonkwo, has also come out now to dilute, and in fact, he simplified this 64 years. He made it, holy Jesus, I don't even know the English to use to qualify what this man said in this video, because these are people that speak out. You know, when I tell you that one of the reasons why you have to subscribe to this channel is that this is a channel where we speak nothing but the truth. So this man, I begin to love him because of the way he speaks the truth, especially in this video you're about to watch. He spoke the truth to a greater magnitude. Just watch the video. As you're watching it, please don't forget to subscribe and turn on your notification button so you get notified anytime I drop a video. And most important thing he said again here is about Rivers State. You know, I told you before that if you are from Rivers State, please always pray for that state. And if you're not from Rivers State, please, I beg you, pray for them. Even if in 1 minute, even if in 30 seconds, just pray for them, because something big and bigger is happening in that state. Something bad is happening in that state. So we need to pray for their governor. We need to pray for the people of Rivers State. So please watch this video and enjoy it. Drop your comment on the comment section and subscribe. Now watch.
Well, I want to first of all use this opportunity to offer my condolences on Nigerians that we are drowned at the River Niger and on the River Niger because of the incompetence and corruption of the leaders of this country. Because the laws are very clear. You don't set sail in the middle of the night and then you have a rickety wooden boat that the capacity is 150, but 300 persons without life jackets we are allowed to board such vessel and to travel in the middle of the night. That in itself is a mishap waiting to happen, and it happened. And a lot of people, more than 150, are unaccounted for. Many have died, and a lot more will be recovered dead. That tells you the story of this country. What we are celebrating in this independence is 64 years of madness, because you can't do the same thing over and over again and expect a different result. That is the technical definition of madness. We are celebrating darkness. We are celebrating hardship. We are celebrating hunger. We are celebrating incompetence. We are celebrating corruption. We are celebrating the emergence of kakistocrats and kleptocrats in our government. The government by the worst, and the government by compulsive thieves. Now, I give you an example. There is Hurricane Helene buffeting more than 5 states in the United States of America. President Joe Biden, the Vice President Harris, and even the presidential candidate Trump, they are going to these states, commiserating with them, offering their help, providing welfare, providing humanitarian services. But in Nigeria, our own president purportedly is jetting away to enjoy himself in vacation. What do you call that? But you know what? I am going to say this because the media people are not doing this government any service. Rather than telling us the truth that he is unwell, because human beings can fall sick. When we were campaigning, we knew he was unwell. When I was in London, I heard they got him coming out from St. Mary's Hospital. Rather than telling the people the truth that he has gone on medical vacation, that he is unwell and has gone to examine himself in a hospital, so that at least you don't portray him as being insensitive, so that you don't portray him as enjoying while Nigeria is burning. They are saying he has jetted out to enjoy himself. What sane leader will go out to enjoy himself when more than 150 persons have died in a boat mishap? If that is true, then you cannot blame Governor Sim Fubara for saying that there is a need to build a psychiatric hospital to examine our leaders, because that's the only thing left to do. I will describe the situation in Rivers State as a state of madness, and I will describe the conduct as embarrassing. First and foremost, that a PDP will sabotage the government of PDP in Rivers State by purporting they are not going to partake in the election, in the local government election in Rivers State, tells you that PDP now, as presently constituted, is a party of abnormality, and that APC's government cannot do the right thing to encourage Rivers State to conduct its local government election, tells you that APC party, as presently constituted, is an apology. So these two parties have become unapologetically abnormal, and that is what is happening to the Nigerian state. Nigeria has become a nation that is unapologetically abnormal because of the influence of this PDAPC. I said it before that these two parties, they are the two heads of a monster. and we can see what is going on. Let us come into the issue of local government election. First and foremost, if you recall, the last regime of the local government in Rivers State, when their tenure ended, they wanted to extend their tenure through the instrumentality of the House of Assembly. And I was in support that it was illegal. And Governor Fubara wanted to use a caretaker committee to replace them. I was one of the lawyers that said this is illegal and that I do not support Governor Fubara to do that. And Governor Fubara can see that the Supreme Court sided some of us who said that the Constitution is clear on how the local government should be governed. Section 7(1) of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999 as amended, states the system of local government by democratically elected local government councils is under this constitution guaranteed, and every state shall ensure its existence by a law which provides for its establishment, for the structure, for the composition, for the finance and functions. The key phrase is democratically elected. The key statement. Now, the Supreme Court that gave judgment based on the case that Tinubu took to court through his Attorney General, gave a judgment that no local government in Nigeria should be governed again by caretaker committee, and that elections must hold. And they put a punishment that any local government that does not comply, the allocation to that local government should be withdrawn. And after consultation, 90 days was agreed on. So 90 days from that judgment, not only that it is illegal, unlawful, but it attracts punishment that can make a local government and a state unviable. And Fubara marshaled out the state, the Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission, to organize the local government election in accordance with the Supreme Court judgment, in accordance with the provision of Section 7. And then you're telling me that some politicians who are enemies of progress, enemies of Rivers State, enemies of Rivers people, are parading the judgment of a lower court to say you will frustrate the judgment of the Supreme Court. That is judicial recklessness. Let me give you an example. In the United States, the DOJ was prosecuting Donald Trump, a former president, for interrupting and trying to overthrow the election. The president went to Supreme Court, and Supreme Court gave judgment that he has some immunities. Immediately the Supreme Court gave judgment, whether you like it or not. The whole system, the whole persons and authorities in the United States now started doing everything, including the DOJ, to make sure they conform with the Supreme Court judgment. Whenever the Supreme Court gives judgment, the only duty of lower courts, the only duty of any person or any authority in Nigeria is to ensure that the Supreme Court judgment is enforced. So the courts ought to be giving orders of mandamus, compelling every party that is involved in election of Rivers State, which include INEC, because INEC must give the register to the Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission, which includes the RESC, that is Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission, which include the police, any person or any authority, what they should do or ought to have done is that they must do everything the law said they must do to comply with the order of the Supreme Court, which is that local government election must be held in Rivers State within 90 days. And so the IG of police, going against the judgment of Supreme Court, because he's parading the judgment of a high court, is a blasphemy. Now, let me give you an example. If the IGP of police gives an order and a police corporal disobeys it, and the IG summons the police corporal, and the police corporal stands in front of him and says, yes sir, I disobeyed it because immediately you finished giving the order, the commissioner of police in my state gave a contrary order, and I decided to obey the order of the commissioner of police instead of your order. What do you think the IG should do to the policeman? Sack him. But that policeman, the corporal, has done exactly what the IG is doing. IG is purportedly saying he has an order of a high court when the Supreme Court has given an order, and he's saying he has decided to obey the order of the high court instead of that of the Supreme Court. And what does that mean? The IGP should be fired. You know why? By going to Rivers State, I'll tell you the laws he has breached. He has breached the policy of Tinubu's government, which is that every local government must hold election within 90 days. And IGP is there to frustrate the holding of the election. So he's even working against the policy of Tinubu's administration. It wasn't me that went to court. It was the Attorney General of the Federation on behalf of the Federation and on behalf of the President, who is in charge of the executive powers of the Federation. So the IGP is working against the policy of this government. 2, IGP went to Rivers State. He was standing on the land of Rivers State, not on federal land. He was standing on state agencies' land, not on federal agencies' land. The Land Use Act, Section 1, said every land in a state, every land comprised in a state, is vested in the governor of the state, and the state is holding it, and the state governor is holding it in trust for the people. Which law gives the IGP the right to go and stand on a state land in front of a state agency? Because the only exception is if the land is federal government land or federal agency, to give orders to a state governor. No, it is the state governor that should give orders to the IGP, because he is the chief security officer of the state. I don't know where the IGP got that power, but let me tell the IGP, unknowing to him, he has committed a judicial coup. The constitution is very clear. In section 1 subsection 2, he said the government of Nigeria shall not be governed, nor shall any person or group of persons take over the control of the government of Nigeria or any part thereof in any manner except in accordance with the constitution. The constitution has already decreed that the system of local government by democratically elected local government councils is guaranteed under the constitution. So if the IGP went to Rivers State in the negation of this provision, then he has become an accomplice to trying to assist people, to give them the power using the instrumentality of the state to make Rivers State to be governed or a part of it by people not in accordance with the constitution. So the IGP is now an accomplice to trying to commit judicial coup. And let me tell you, section 84 subsection 15 of the Electoral Act is very clear that nothing in this section or in the whole Electoral Act shall empower a court to stop the primary election or general election pending the determination of any suit. So where will the courts get the power to want to frustrate the election, local government election in Rivers State? You know what they want to do? They want to make the government of Governor Sim Fubara unviable. They want to make sure that the local government people in Rivers State and their people do not get their share, so that they will make it that he will have political problems with his people. And unfortunately, the IG of police is lending his voice to support this illegality and unlawfulness.
I hope you're enjoying the video. Please don't forget to subscribe, okay? Keep on watching.
Tell you, by IGP of police withdrawing the security from Rivers State, anybody that dies or is killed in that election because of that withdrawal, that will be a murder case against the IGP of police. I give you an example. Why is God holding David responsible for the death of Uriah? Did David physically kill Uriah? After committing adultery with the wife of Uriah, what David did was David set him up, and he told his army, set this man up in front of battle, and when he's in front of battle, withdraw from him so that he will be killed. Who did God hold responsible for the murder of Uriah? It is David, because he's the one who withdrew the force after setting up Uriah. IGP withdrew Nigerian police to set up Rivers State to go into flames. So whoever dies there, the blood is on the head of IGP of police. And that's what I keep saying, that any politician who is not willing to go the way of Governor Sim Fubara, to stand up to resist criminality, illegality, to stand up to say, if I perish, I perish, but I will do the right thing. I will stand for democracy, stand for rule of law, stand for my people because they voted for me. Any politician who is not ready for that resistance and protest should step aside. What Governor Sim Fubara is doing is absolutely correct. He's resisting intimidation, manipulation. He's resisting people who want to take over Rivers State and the local government in a manner that the Constitution has not decreed. The same people that were shouting that Governor Fubara was governing Rivers State with caretaker committee are the same people that want to frustrate the election. That is how insincere liars operate in government. What they are fighting for is their pocket. It is their positions and power, not the people. And the people must rise up to defend themselves from these leaders. So what Governor Sim Fubara did and is doing is in order, and I support it. What the IGP of police has done is illegal, is ungodly, is criminal. He should apologize to the people of Rivers State, and he must make sure that not even one hair of anybody in Rivers State falls to the ground, because the law is clear. The police is there to maintain law and order. So the police cannot withdraw in any circumstance from any situation that could cause chaos. The police cannot dabble into political issues. IGP is dabbling into political issues. He must withdraw from it, and he must make sure that the orders are maintained in Rivers State. And the chief security officer in Rivers State is Governor Sim Fubara, and his orders should be maintained. And any lawyer, any judge, any court that is not upholding the rule of law should be held responsible and accountable. I've said it that when it comes to electoral jurisprudence, our judges have not lived above board. Let me make it clear that I am embarrassed that a lower court can go against the decision of the Supreme Court, and even in a manner that I believe that Supreme Court is even right. So you can't even be talking about judicial activism, because, okay, let me give you an example. Can you imagine if the 4 years term of this regime is coming to an end, and a court gives an order that the election will not hold, and then I hope the IG of police will remember to go and take the order and say he's stopping people from going to vote on that day, because electoral bodies are meant to be independent, and the law is that they should not receive any direction or control from anybody. So a court giving an order that election will not hold in Rivers State, knowing it will constitute constitutional crisis, knowing it will deny Rivers State from even its allocation from the federal government, that judge has not upheld the tenets of justice and rule of law. As a lawyer, I cannot support that by any iota of imagination, because the whole idea of interpretation of constitution is to give value to it, not to destroy it. Do you know, in law, if you have a motion, for instance, seeking to destroy the rest, and there is a motion seeking to preserve the rest, even that motion seeking to preserve the rest, even if it came last, it will be treated first. That's the position of the law. Then you have people saying there is a judgment to destroy the rights of the Rivers people to vote, and they are saying there is another judgment that says go and vote, and you're telling me which one will I choose, when there is a superior judgment of the Supreme Court that has settled the matter? Why would they even dabble into it? And they will say the facts are different. What do they mean by that? That is judicial trickishness. That's judicial craftiness and cunning. The whole idea is hold election within 90 days. And the duty of every person and every authority in Nigeria is to ensure that the order of the Supreme Court and the provisions of the Constitution is obeyed. And so the judges, whoever partook in that, should be disciplined. That's my opinion. And if you recall, even the law that says 1993 election should hold, if you recall, that law ousted the jurisdiction of the court to give any order to stop it, just as it is in our laws today. And yet a judge went ahead, because some military boys did not want the election again. They wrote the law, and they used the instrumentality of the court to want to destroy the election. But something happened. The NEC then, under Professor Nwosu, refused, and they went ahead to conduct the election. And the election was conducted, and a winner emerged. Then the same military boys went and forcefully stopped the announcing of the result, still wanting to use the court. And this is where Nwosu lost it. He would have proceeded to complete the announcement and announce the result. Why run away and chicken out? And many years after, even after when the man had died, you're coming to say you are announcing he won. No. If you want to do the right thing no matter the consequences. If you don't want to do the right thing, keep quiet, and keep quiet forever. That's why when people want to marry, they will say, if you know anything that wants to stop these people to marry, come and talk, or forever remain silent. From now onwards in Nigeria, if you're given a duty, do it. Whoever wants to stop you, say no. Go ahead and do it. That's the only way we can be saved from this crop of leaders. They don't have conscience, they don't respect the rules, and they want to corrupt everybody. So please, if Nwosu refused to obey the injunction not to conduct the election and proceeded to conduct the election and started announcing the result, he wouldn't have succumbed to the blackmail of the military boys then. He would have proceeded to complete the announcement and announce the winner and finish his job. And whatever happens to him, he would have known he has done his job. That is what Fubara is doing. He said, if you shoot me, go ahead. You will go down in history as the most wicked and callous IGP that killed Fubara. When you want to take over the leadership of your place, or you want to represent your people, what were you thinking? You think leadership is a common case? No. Esther said, if I perish, I perish. Whenever you are in leadership, look at what happened to Donald Trump. In America, where security is everywhere, yet 2 times now they wanted to kill him. Every profession has its own risk. If you're not willing to take the risk that is attached to any profession, step aside so that people who are given that mind by God will go ahead and serve God in that capacity. If you're an actor and an actress and you say you're not going to hug babes and you're not going to kiss them, step aside. Because that's what the job is. Don't come and say you're a born again Christian. That's what the job entails. If you're a politician and you can't stand for your people that voted for you, and because you don't want to die, step aside. Because that's what the job entails. Any politician that is not behaving like Fubara, who will resist and protest when his rights are trampled upon, knowing that our judicial system, knowing that our electoral system have failed us, that any politician who will not stand his ground, no matter the risk to his person, I said I will not speak for that politician again, and I maintain it. And you can see what is happening, because we can't go forward. We calm down. If Fubara has been saying calm down, do you know where Rivers State would have been? He said he's ready for them. He's fully prepared. The election must go on. The election must hold. Winners must be declared. They will be sworn in. And whatever is going to happen, let it happen. I am looking for leaders who would say nobody will rig my election. And if you rig my election, I will fight. Nigerians, come out and fight. If they kill anybody, let them kill all of us. Oh yes, and thank God I'm seeing it happen. What Fubara did, was he advocating for violence? Was he advocating that the law should be broken? No, he was advocating for his right. That's my opinion. That's my advocacy. We must advocate for our right and stand by it. I did not disqualify anybody. I don't have that right. I said I am not going to speak for anybody going forward except this person meets this criteria. In any case, we have finished 2023 election. It's over. 2027 election has not come. So anybody who is saying betrayal, what am I betraying? There is nothing on ground. When I was a spokesman in 2023, I did my job creditably well, and we convinced Nigerians on what we believe is right. But you can see that in Nigeria, you not only have to have the power to win election, you have to have the power to defend your election. So anybody that does not have that spirit or power to defend the votes in a manner that you would say, whatever happens to me as a person, let it happen, I am not willing to speak any further for the person. So what I just simply said is that going forward, I will no longer be part of this until these fears are addressed.
Thank you very much for watching. Now, he has said it all. I don't have another thing to say, because for this country, we don't too talk. We don't too talk. Now, time for action now we need. Anyways, thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel, right? Thank you, and God bless you.